wasn't long before she was shaking like a sick puppy. She put out the first cigarette and lit another. "It took me a while to work up the courage, Elliot, but I left him. It's been a week now. I've been on the road ever since." Packy Darnell was an old friend. She was, on her better days, an auburn-haired stunner. She was also one of the few women for whom I had actually considered forfeiting my long-guarded and cherished bachelorhood. As fortune would have it, however, before I got around to making up my mind, she had made up hers. She discovered a Navy fly guy by the name of Ensign Randolph Holloway Mays, fell madly in love with him, and departed for romantic Pensacola. If Packy had been living a fairy tale, the story would have ended right there. But she wasn't, and it didn't. An old girlfriend of mine loved to say, "Life is never easy, not even for the beautiful people." She was right. A year or so after Ensign Randy Mays married Packy, he unceremoniously buried his low-altitude attack Grumman A-6 intruder in the tidewaters near Gulf Shores, Alabama. End of fairy tale. Since I heard about Packy's misfortune after the fact, I didn't attend the funeral. Then I lost track of her. Lest you think I'm a cad, let me clarify. Under normal circumstances, Packy Darnell was not the sort of girl a guy thought about in a protective sense, so I didn't worry about her. Because she was young and beautiful, I naturally assumed that she had lots of friends. It was equally easy to assume that, after the appropriate period of grieving and adjustment, Packy Darnell would get on with her life. Why, you ask? Everyone knew that when she wasn't playing wife, Packy was a pretty fair country diver, and rumor had it that not long after young Mays bought the farm, she caught on with a professional salvage diver by the name of Peter Cannon. Rumor further had it that Packy and her new live-in lover had opened a small dive shop somewhere north of Vero Beach. Oh yeah, just for the record, Peter Cannon is the one who turned out to be the aforementioned son of a bitch. At any rate, after the initial vindictive venom was spent, Packy fixed herself another drink and lapsed into a benign line of chatter, until she concluded by saying, "It was sweet of you to offer me a place to bunk, Elliot." I think she was sincere, but I had the feeling she would have been equally grateful if she had been offered a flop on an old army cot at the local soup kitchen. Even though she gave one hell of an effort, she couldn't make her voice ring with the same old magic. Her voice was as weary, empty, and washed out as the expression on her face. The sad part of all this was that she knew I noticed it. Eventually, Packy got tired of forcing idle chatter, slipped into a reflective mood, and turned silent. After studying her for a while, I decided she had come to the best place. I didn't know what Packy was all about anymore, but I figured a good dose of the old E.G. Wages healing elixir couldn't hurt her. Despite the hour, I rustled up some scrambled eggs with crab meat and sour cream, fixed lots of hot coffee and toast lathered with honey, and insisted that she eat. Next, I started the therapy. I massaged her shoulders first, worked on her neck for a while, then headed down to the small of her back. It took some time, but she finally started to relax. When she did, the tears erupted again. "So, what happened?" I asked. Packy tilted her head to one side. "Competition. You've heard it all before. Younger, prettier, a little trimmer. There's no honor among sluts. Peter's glands got in the way, and he told me to hit the bricks." "And you said?" "Pay me what you owe me." "Which means?" "I told him he could have it any way he wanted it, as long as he bought out my half of the business." "Half of the business?" Packy looked a little sheepish. "That's the part I didn't tell you. I used most of Randy's insurance settlement to help Peter buy the dive shop. He was a better lover than businessman. We lost a lot of money. Since he wanted out and couldn't buy me out, he started punching me out. That went on for a couple of months until I couldn't take it any longer and jumped ship." The confession brought on more tears, more sheepish looks, and the desire